Hey guys, it's Bus. Just wanted to give you a preview of some features that are coming out here pretty soon. As you know, you've got the ink feature where you can go ahead and draw on the screen if you want to, and obviously it's multi-ink. Nothing's changed there, so you can still draw on yours and have it appear on somebody else's. So that still works. Additionally, I've added in 3 buttons here. Now I know my buttons are ugly. I got to create actual artwork for these buttons, and I've got to indicate when they're active, when they're not active. So that's on the list. But while I'm testing out features, I just throw the ugly buttons out there, and you guys can kind of just deal with it in the short term. But so these new buttons here. The first one is, these are all marker related, but this one is for icons. So you select that button, and I know currently it doesn't show any indicator that it's active, but you select the tool, and then you double click somewhere on the map, and it places your icon. So you can select out of these ones which ones you want. You can do your objective, you can do a flag. What's a marker? Oh, that's a marker. Or destroy. You can even rotate it if you really want to. Change the color, put some text in there. And you can change the scope too. You can say, okay, I want this to be for my side. Now you guys can't see it, but when I click on this, it actually opens up a drop-down menu. Obviously there's a drop-down list or combo boxes, and for some reason OBS isn't capturing that, and whatever, I don't really care. You see the end result. So you click done, and boom, there's your marker. Okay. Additionally, now that's that. Okay. Additionally, I have the circles. So let's say you're in the area, and that's another thing too. I changed over the actual pan. That's on the right click, just kind of like the editor in ARMA 2 now. That way you can ink with the left and then move around with the right. So just so you know that that's there. Additionally, let's say you want to place like a circular marker and say, this whole area, this is just enemies. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? Oh, I gotta let it right now. Double click, drag out. Wow, look at that, boom, marker. How awesome is that? Or you say, you know what, this town, or let's find a place that's kind of non-rotated rectangular. Whoa, this place, this is full of enemies. Let's do a rectangle. So, So notice here I'm clicking on this because this has like a flyout menu, and this doesn't. Because this is a flyout menu, it actually goes away when you toggle it. So this one is the circles, this one is the rectangle. So I want to say, oh my God, look at this. Oh, all these enemies. Oh my, what am I going to do? I'm going to tell everybody somebody's there. Boom, there's your rectangle. I can change colors. Again, it's a drop-down list, but you don't see it. You can just draw whatever you want to draw. Additionally, you can go all over with it. The idea was you double click to start, you move your cursor where you want it to end, and it figures out the length, width, all that shit on its own, and it's going to feed that into ARMA. So you got that. Additionally, just like the rectangles, you can change. Notice I'm clicking on the button here to indicate that's toggling on and off, and I can change the colors of these two if I want to, and I can drag them out. Now notice I double click on the center point of the circle I want to create, and then I drag out to indicate the size. So I figured that's probably the quickest way to handle that. If you want to do it in a hurry, you want to say, hey, there's guys over here, this whole section over here, this is all hostile, and I figure that's the quickest way. You just want to make it fast. So you can do that with just a couple of clicks. So boom, there you go. So that's kind of what's coming. Additionally, there's going to be another thing. I'm going to try and change the buttons, like I said, to indicate whether they're pressed, not pressed, or when they're active or not active. There's another thing I want to create that's going to be coming in here, and it's kind of going to be similar to the rectangle tool, except what's going to happen is you're going to double click. Oh, it's not active. Double click. You're going to select another point, and then what's going to happen is it's going to draw a line between them, and it's going to create a thing down here like some text. So imagine there's a line going from this point to this point. Okay, and it's going to create some text that shows you the direction and additionally the distance. So now that I've gotten all this stuff, working, it's doing that little measurement tool is going to be pretty straightforward. So I'll do another video when I have that measurement tool working for you. So it should be accurate to the meter. I don't see why it wouldn't be, but just to give you an idea of its functionality. So you'll be able to say, okay, I'm going to set up a run from here to here, and then over to the side it's going to have direction. Obviously, this is like, I don't know, what is that? That's 0, this is 180. Is that right? Or is the, whatever. It's going to have whatever the direction is, and then it's going to have what the distance is from here to here, and a little text thing here. So that way, if you're performing a JTAG functions, if you're GTAC, whatever you want to say, if you're performing that kind of function and you're trying to guide people in, and you can mark this stuff out. And what's going to be nice about that is going to draw the line for them, or draw the line in Athena, and it's going to do the measurement in Athena. And then what's going to happen with all of this and all of these markers is that these are going to get exported, okay? Exported out to ARMA. And it's going to get recreated in the ARMA map. Now, I'm going to try and get it to where it creates the marker for everybody that's fallen under the scope through remote code execution. If I can't do that, then perhaps it'll be an Athena only thing where you'll have to have Athena, that guy will have to have Athena, and then the marker will appear. I'll figure out something. But either way, these markers, you can expect to see them pop up in ARMA. And I'll do another video demonstrating that functionality later on. But as far as the technical details, these markers that you create in Athena are created in the markers export layer. Okay? So what happens with that is that Athena is going to eventually dump these markers out to ARMA. ARMA is then going to, or a script will run, an Athena script will run inside the Athena mod in ARMA, and it will take the marker data and it will generate them in ARMA. Okay? And then what's going to happen is these will then be ARMA markers. And then ARMA is going to grab that data, it's going to export it through the Athena mod. The Athena app is going to pick that up, and then it's going to recreate these markers. So for a split second, you're going to have 2 copies of each one of these markers. Then what's going to happen is as it identifies it, it's going to pull them from this layer, and it's going to put them in the markers layer, this one up here. So that's the technical details behind that, and that just gives you a little bit of an idea of where things are going. So just want to let you guys know. If you have any questions, let me know through the forums, private message me, look me up at Steam, whatever. Thanks, guys.